Thank you, Senator King. Senator Rounds.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once again, thank you all for your service to our country. General Bussiere, the B-21 program is critical to the future bomber leg of the triad. Based on what you know of the current and projected demand commensurate to a great power competition paradigm with two near-peer nuclear adversaries, how many B-21s do you believe would be optimally needed to support U.S. war plans and deterrence? And what do you think the key drivers are going to be with regard to managing the procurement and sustainment right now based on what you're seeing and recognizing that I think there's a lot of us that would like to see these B-21s come on at a higher rate than what they're currently planned for, but this is probably one of the best examples of a system which is working, it's on time, it's on budget. Can you share with us a little bit about what you think the needs are for this particular platform?
Yeah, Senator Rounds, very pleased with the progress so far of the B-21 Raider platform. As the committee is aware, we've had first flight. We have one aircraft T1 is in testing, developmental testing out at Edwards Air Force Base, and we have a classified number on the production line. Ellsworth Air Force Base is the first installation we'll field the B-21, and our construction projects to bed down that weapon system are going very well, also as well as the repair to the runway to field that capability. As the committee is aware, the program of record currently is at least 100. The Air Force back in 2018 and 19, I believe, testified before Congress that the right number at that time potentially could be as high as 145, and I understand General Cotton testified that to that effect this year. I support assessing the increase of the production from 100 to 145, but I think the real question for the department and for the nation is what's the right mix of long-range strike platforms versus other strike platforms. It's a reasonable question the nation has asked several times in the last year or two. And that there are ongoing efforts, I believe, both on the Hill and in the Department of Defense to assess what the correct number of long-range strike platforms are in the Department of the Air Force.
And I think part of that also goes back to what exactly will the threat be. And part of what we're asking to be developed based on the NDAA last year was a study anyway as to how we handle two different theaters at the same time, because there's a general consensus out there that if we're going to have a significant problem with one of our near-peer adversaries in one theater, very high probability that we'd have a similar threat develop in a second theater, thus putting the demand out there to be able to respond in both locations with appropriate platforms. I'm going to come over to Dr. Van for just a second. Can you share a little bit about the direction that you see the approach taking? And I know that either we talk about a new defense strategy, we look at revising somehow our current one. Can you share with us a little bit about the direction that you see in terms of our strategic response and what we can expect from the administration?
Sure, yes, sir. Secretary Hegseth, of course, approved an interim National Defense Strategic Guidance classified document, which really goes into some details about how the DoD is going to implement President Trump's peace through strength kind of agenda. And in there was some discussion about the prioritizing, planning, resourcing decisions that will be kind of entered into with a full national defense strategy. And as you know, the NDS requires a review of our force size, shape, posture, considerations, and all of the detailed prioritization of the threats, missions, and major investments. And we do anticipate an in-depth look in the NDS on our nuclear strategy and our posture, especially in this kind of new geopolitical environment. And I would anticipate broadly nuclear strategy and posture will be leveraging the work of things like the Strategic Posture Commission's analysis, as well as some of the updated information that we have about the geopolitical threat environment.
Do you have a timeline?
Sir, it is just begun and it is just underway, and our policy colleagues are working on pulling that together as we speak.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.